Listeners, if you are new to deck building or you know somebody that is, then you might want to check out Star Realms Academy, my first deck building game. Let's take a look at how it plays. In this game, players will be taking turns playing cards from their hands, using bases' primary abilities, using ally abilities, and using coins to purchase new cards from the trade row. So a player will start their turn with 3 cards in their hand, and they will do any of those abilities. So if they're going to play their cards, this player might attack this player for 1, so they would just take damage off of their player board, and then they would gather 2 coins. They can then choose to let those coins carry over, or they can buy something which will go into their discard pile and rotate through their deck so that they can play it on a future turn. So maybe I'm going to buy this card here and put it in my discard pile with those cards I played, and then that will refill. Then the next player will go and they'll take turns, like I said, buying cards, playing cards, just doing all of their various abilities. If they are using their coins, they'll get discarded, or like I said, if they carry over coins, they'll be able to save up to potentially buy more expensive cards later, or they'll be able to just buy a couple of different cards on their turn. If a player has a base, that will stay out in front of them until it is destroyed. So this one only has 1 health here, but if another one came out that had more health, a player could potentially do some damage to it and put some damage markers on it and eventually get rid of it as well. A player cannot be attacked directly if they have bases in front of them, so the other player will have to take those out before they're able to directly attack a player. Ultimately, the goal is to just get rid of a player's entire health, and then you will win the game if you eliminate the other player. I'm a big fan of Star Realms, and I always thought that Star Realms was kind of on the easier, lighter side of deck building games to begin with. I think that it is a very streamlined system of just a 1v1 trying to maybe like attack the other player, get rid of all of their health, while also just kind of building your own little repertoire of like attack cards, draw cards, and healing cards, all that kind of stuff. This strips that down quite a bit, which I think works really well for, again, that introductory deck building game for younger players or players who just have never played a deck builder and really want to try one. I like that there is no text on the cards because that makes it really easy to just look at that symbology and be very quick about, okay, I know that this card lets me draw, gives me 3 coins, whatever it is. There's no reading abilities and trying to maybe figure out like, oh, what does this do? What does this mean? It's very, very streamlined, which I like a lot. I also really like the art on all these cards. I think it's really cute, and that makes it very approachable, in my opinion, instead of that kind of like grittier space theme that the original Star Realms has. But all that to say, if you are somebody who is just trying out deck builders and you want to start really light, this is a great option. Or if you are trying to introduce somebody who maybe doesn't play as many games to deck building, then this is a great choice for that as well, because it just kind of gives you a little bit of options without kind of overwhelming you with tons and tons of different abilities. It has a couple of other differences from Star Realms. For instance, it takes out one whole faction, so it's a little bit easier like that. It has you draw less cards on your turns, so you're, again, not overwhelmed with too much choice turn after turn. For me, because I do play games a lot, I'm going to play Star Realms a lot more than this because I like that level of deck building game. But if you are just starting out, if you are looking for something much more on the lighter side, this is a great choice. I think it does what it's trying to do really, really well. So definitely check that out, but you can see my full thoughts on the blog today to see if this one's for you and see a little bit more in-depth comparison of Star Realms Academy to Star Realms.